Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to discuss UPSC Prelims PYQ series of Environmental Section 2025 questions. In this particular series of videos, we will be discussing how to apply in UPSC preliminary examinations, logics, keywords and elimination strategy effectively inside the examination hall. Because this is very important thing students, we need to learn and we can save sometimes most of the time inside exam hall also, and we can reduce our negative marks also. Not only that, we will be also discussing how we have to choose the question. There are some questions we need to necessarily skip, but some of the questions we need to necessarily attend. So you will also learn what is the art of leaving the questions. That is, what are the questions you need to skip so that you can effectively save your negative marks. So these are the important things you will be learning from this particular series, students. Okay, before going into the video, let me give the list of positive and negative keyword students which has been frequently used by the UPSC examiners in the last 10 years. Positive keywords are can, some, may, one of the. Negative keywords used are directly, to the extent of, but, none, binding, all, every, mandatorily, immediately, steadily, temporarily, easily, wholly, should, must, not, cannot, any, entire, only. Okay students, let's now move to the first question. Consider the following statements. Studies indicate that carbon dioxide emissions from cement industry account for more than 5% of the global carbon emissions. Students, one important thing I wanted to stress is whenever in UPSC preliminary examination, if the examiner using any kind of facts, means you need to necessarily hold there and think once or twice before moving from the statement. Reason being that most of the times the facts which they use could be wrong. So that is the one important indication. So we need to logically, we need to use our common sense to think about that particular question's validity. In this particular question, students, they are telling that carbon dioxide emissions from cement industry accounts for more than 5% of global emissions. 5 is a very small number, and we know cement is one of the important contributor of global carbon emissions, that is polluting the atmosphere. So if they give more than 50% only, you need to think too much. 5% means chances are highly there. So first statement could be correct. Second statement, silica bearing clay is mixed with limestone while manufacturing cement. We know very well silica is used during the manufacturing of cement. Statement 3, limestone is converted into lime during clinker production for cement manufacturing. Yes, they use silica, limestone, all these while manufacturing the cement, and all this contributes to carbon emissions also. So here in this particular situation, both the statements, that is statement 2 and 3 are correct, and both of them are actually explaining why it is leading to global carbon emissions. So the correct answer here is option A, students. Second one, statement 1, at the 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference COP28, India refrained from signing the Declaration on Climate and Health. Okay students, let's move to the second one. COP28 Declaration on Climate Health is a binding declaration. One thing we need to be very clear, binding is a negatively used keyword. Not only that, and if signed it becomes mandatory. Mandatory is also a negative keyword. 2 times they are using negative. High chance of this statement being wrong based upon UPSC's past experience of keyword strategy. So directly you can eliminate second statement and look at the options here, students. Only one of the statement has to be correct. Where it is given, that is given directly in option C only. So you don't need to waste your time in reading other statements. Directly go and pick the option C. Third one, scientific study suggests a shift is taking place in the Earth's rotational axis. So they are telling that suggest. So that is a possibility. Possibility is always there. And in science, always this kind of evolutions are happening. So, okay, we can assume the first statement to be correct, students. Let's move to the second one. Solar flares and associated coronal mass ejections bombarded the Earth's atmosphere with a tremendous amount of energy. So basically, we know solar flares are coming from the outer atmosphere, and because of that, actually that is actually leading to lot of amount of in the outer space some kind of reactions are happening. We know even this is disturbing, but it does not lead to that an extent that is going to shift the Earth axis. Why I am saying is, we have also studied in our basic NCERTs and geography, we have our Earth's magnetic field. This magnetic field will actually balance the disturbance which is caused by this solar flare. So one thing is, what they are saying here is solar flares, they are actually bombarding the Earth's outer atmosphere. That is true. But in case of explanation to statement 1, this is not true. So let's move to the third statement, students. As the Earth's polar ice melts, water tends to move towards the equator. This is high possibility because we know melting of that is due to climatic change in the recent past. There is an increase in temperature which is happening in the Earth's surface. So melting of glaciers are happening. When glaciers melt means then the gravity will get disturbed in the Earth's especially rotation and axis. Why I am telling is because mass and gravity are directly related to the Earth's rotation. In that way, it can lead to some changeover. So statement 3 is correct, and this could lead to the explanation for statement 1, but not statement 2. But one thing, let's look at the options here, students. Both the statements 2 and 3 are correct, and both of them explains that is not possible. Both the statements 2 and 3 are correct, but only one of them explaining, that is third one alone is explaining, is true, students. I hope by using logic and common sense you can arrive at the answer, and even by having a basic reading of geography, NCERTs and textbooks, you can answer this question. So B is the correct answer here. Let's move to the fourth one. So Article 6 of the Paris Agreement on climatic change is frequently discussed. One thing, students, in all the statements they have used Article 6 of Paris Agreement, and that deals with climatic change only. Okay. So the thing is all of them could be correct. That is Article 6 might deal with climatic change if you are not aware. So because in none of the options they have given, all the statements are wrong. In that way, Article 6 of Paris Agreement could deal with climatic change only. Okay. So that is frequently discussed in global discussions on sustainable development and climatic change. Article itself is on climatic change. So there is a high possibility it will deal with sustainable development and climatic change. Logically correct. Second statement, Article 6 of Paris Agreement on climatic change sets out the principles of carbon markets. So related to climatic change, we know the principle of carbon market could be discussed. High possibility of correctness in the statement. Statement 3, Article 6 of Paris Agreement on Climatic Change intends to promote non-market strategies to reach their climate targets. To mitigate the problem of sustainable development and climatic change, they are only suggesting non-market strategy. If it is a market strategy only, you have to think too much. Non-market, it is not a serious thing. So basically, you can assume all the statements to be correct. And in this particular context, both the statements 2 and 3 are correct, and both of them are actually explaining first statement. Why I am telling? Because they are giving solution. So answer is yes, students. Fifth one, which one of the following launched the Nature Solutions Finance Hub for Asian Pacific? Asian Pacific are the keywords here, students. Let's now look at the options which are listed here. See, among the options, you directly see in two options they have used the word Asian. So in UPSC, this logic always stands out. Whenever they use two commonalities in the options, among that only the correct option will be lying. So you can eliminate the other two options. Okay. Now among these two, how to arrive at the correct answer means, let's read the particular thing. What they have launched it, Nature Solutions Finance Hub. This deals with something related to actually environment, because nature is there. In Asian Infrastructure and Investment Bank, economy or finance could be the major thing. Nature things and all it can't deal with. So you can pick the option A to be the correct answer here, students. So only based on logic we have arrived at the answer here. And that is also correct here. Okay, let's move to the next one. With reference to direct air capture on emerging technology, which one of the following statement is correct? One thing, students, look at the keyword used here. Can is a positively used keyword. Whenever they are using positively used keyword like can, that statements will always tend to be correct, because can is a possibility. So you can close your eyes and directly pick the option C as the correct answer here, students. Seventh one, regarding peacock tarantula, consider the following statements. It is an omnivorous crustacean. Its natural habitat in India is only is a negative keyword, is limited to some is a positive keyword. So what they are telling is, in India, in some areas, this particular bird, that is peacock, will be available. Why not, students? It is a some is a positive keyword. So what they are telling, logically it will be correct only. Second is surely correct. Third one, in its natural habitat, it is an arboreal species. We know arboreal species means that particular that is bird or animal, it will be living on the tree only. So this particular peacock, that high possibility it could live on the tree. Okay, let's now move to the first statement. It is an omnivorous crustacean. Here only we need to apply our logic, and we have to try and eliminate the options, students, because all the three options are not assumed. That is what they are telling is 1, 2 and 3, all of them are not given in any of the options. Look at the options here, students. Already we know second and third statement is highly correct. So directly pick that. We are 200% sure because the high possibility of peacock to live on the tree, that possibility is there. But we don't know what is the meaning of crustacean. But if you would have read the basics of NCERTs, we know one more thing additionally. What I wanted to tell you is crustaceans are basically aquatic animals. Like we know crab, the animals which have hard shells, those animals are called as crustaceans. This is available in your basic science NCERT. That's why I will be telling my students to read for environment also selective science chapters. So kindly read that basics, then only you can easily eliminate it. Otherwise, also what I will be telling is, if you are 200% sure about second and third statement, you can directly pick option D as the correct answer here. Let's move to the next one. Carbon dioxide emissions in India are less than 0.5 ton carbon dioxide per capita. Students usually will be telling whenever facts are used, you need to hold on that particular fact at least twice or thrice, and then you see logically correct or not. They are telling in case of India, because population is so much in case of India, so per capita emissions will be less only, no doubt about that. But whether it is that an extent that less than 0.5 ton carbon dioxide per capita, that is very, very small number. High possibility of this to be wrong, students. Second one, in terms of carbon dioxide emissions from fuel combustion, India ranks second in Asia Pacific. It deals with Asia. Asia carbon dioxide emission second rank for India is high possibility because there is one more country which is more populated in Asia, that is China. So India can be ranked second. This is true. Electricity and heat producers are the largest carbon dioxide emission. This is also true. So you can directly go for option C, which is the correct answer here, students. So you need to be very clear of this particular logic here. So eighth one, the correct answer is C only. Let's move to the ninth one. Consider the following pair. They are asking which of them are correctly matched. Cassava, woody shrub, ginger, herb with pseudostem, Malabar spinach, herbaceous climber, mint, annual shrub, papaya, wooden shrub. One thing, students, we know very well by looking at the options here, directly you can eliminate first papaya. Why I am telling is papaya is not a shrub. I hope you know the meaning of herb, shrub, and tree. Herb means it will be spread on the ground surface only, and shrub means little kind of branches will come like that of roses and all. So papaya is actually considered to be a tree. How it will come under shrub? Eliminate 5. And mint. Mint is actually, it is not a shrub at all. Mint will actually, it will be like a herb kind of plant. It is not a shrub. So you can eliminate 2 options directly, and these 3 options could be correct. Because ginger, it could be pseudostem, that herb with pseudostem possibility is there. And Malabar spinach, herbaceous climber possibility is there. And cassava, wooden shrub. So among this, you can directly go for 4 and 5. We have directly eliminated it. So you can directly pick option B as the correct answer here. Where this basic difference of herb, shrub, tree is available. Basic NCERT science 6 standard, some standard, 8 standard students. Kindly go and revise it. You can answer this very easily. It's picked from there only. For environment also, you need to read science NCERT students. So the correct answer is option B only. 10th one, with reference to planet Earth, consider the following statements. Rainforests produce more oxygen than that produced by oceans. Marine phytoplanktons and photosynthetic bacteria produce about 50% of the oxygen. See these, students. These 2 statements are actually contradictory. What I mean by contradictory is either one of them only has to be correct. Either rainforest is producing more oxygen or oceans are producing more oxygen, because 50% is a very big number. So in this particular case, if you look at the logic, in oceans, high possibility of them producing more oxygen. Why? Oceans contains marine algae, photosynthetic bacteria, and that can produce more oxygen. So that possibility is more. So you can pick second statement to be correct, not the first one. Then let's move to the third one. Well oxygenated ocean surface contains several folds higher oxygen than atmospheric air. How it is possible, students? What they are telling is oxygen, a well pass like a circulated oxygen is prevailing over a particular water body, that will have more oxygen than atmosphere. If that is the case, then why we need to deal with BOD, COD concept and all? That is biological oxygen demand, chemical oxygen demand. If oxygen level is low, means fishes will die. If well oxygenated surface could hold so much oxygen than air, why we should be bothered about these concepts? It is logically incorrect. So only one of them is correct. That is option B, students. 11th one, which organization has enacted nature restoration law to tackle climatic change and biodiversity loss? Look at the options, students. European Union, World Bank, OECD, FAO. Among these, some organization has to pass law. Which organization has parliament to pass law? First of all, only one body, that is European Union. Directly choose this option, students. No need to think and waste time at looking at other option. None of these other bodies have parliament to pass law. So basically the correct answer here is 11th one A. 12th one, of the two major ethanol producers in the world, Brazil and USA, the farmer means they are telling Brazil produces more ethanol than USA. And in case of USA, corn is the main thing for ethanol production. In sugarcane is the main one for ethanol production in Brazil. Okay, students, but second statement is true. We know very well sugarcane. Brazil is the one of the leading producer of sugar. So compared to that of India, most of the times. Okay. But USA also produces lot of corn, where it is in the prairie regions, in the central plains of USA, Mississippi, Missouri plains, where river is there. In the central plains of USA, there is more corn is cultivated there. We know this very well when we are read geography basics. So what they are telling is, actually, Brazil is producing more ethanol. See, now we know USA is producing from corn this ethanol. If that is the case, the size of USA is comparatively larger than that of Brazil in the size. And in larger area, we are actually growing corn in USA compared to sugarcane in Brazil. In that case, which country will produce more ethanol? You tell me, students. Logically thinking, only USA have high possibility because of more geographical area compared to Brazil. In that case, I will be eliminating the first one and pick only one to be correct. So one is wrong. So directly go for option D, students. 13th one, the World Bank warned that India could be one of the first places where temperature will exceed 35 degrees. So what will be the implication they are telling? Whenever temperature exceeds, they are telling they will be likely suffer from flooding, cyclones, high possibility. Likely is also a positive keyword. Survival of animals will be affected as their body heat will become difficult. Again, a positive statement. Both of them have high logic and it is correct only. So you can pick directly the option C to be the correct answer, students. I hope this video was very useful to you. If you have any further doubts or feedbacks, you can put your doubts in the comment section. We will respond to that. And for accessing this particular material, we have given the Telegram group link in the description box. You can join the Telegram group where we will be sharing this material also, students. Thank you.